now. Do a stab for the first time. Bring the nightmare to her.
You're on a path.
Alright, I've always wanted to slay a monarch. Viva la revolution! That's the spirit.
You make your way up the short path.
Proceed into the cabin. The blade's your invention. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Enter the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Yeah, we're doing her a favor.
Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
Oh, different voice.
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Hi, just checking in on you.
Oh, it's been so long since anyone's come down here. I was starting to think they'd forgotten about me.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Maybe. Nuh-uh. I haven't decided yet.
How about you drop the knife and the two of us just talk?
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the blade and talk things out.
Yeah, she's convinced me.
Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk.
What's going on, Creedmoor?
Maybe she really is a monster. Killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us. The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed.
You're never just gonna do the stab, are you? I think he was like giving me options to not stab.
You'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor.
At least I brought the blade with me this time.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
Relationship? There's people out there who think you're gonna end the world. What do you have to say about that? Nina, what's your name?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Still doesn't have a name.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
Do you know why I'm here to kill you?
Do you?
You're apparently gonna end the world? I know what I've been told. Whether or not I believe it is an entirely different matter.
So, you're not going to share? How pointless. If you want to talk, I'll talk. But this isn't talking.
Ah, good point. I'm here because you're supposed to end the world.
Don't just tell her that.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
No. No, and if I'm being honest, I'm more inclined to trust you than I am inclined to trust them.
Sooner or later, you'll understand that I have your best interests at heart. Hopefully sooner.
How sweet. Now be a pal and help me get out of here, would you? We could figure out how to deal with them after I'm free.
Okay. I'll see what I can do.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light.
It's similar
of day.
to the first rap, but
They
she's
wouldn't have just left the key to her
has a
chains
different
somewhere in the
personality
cabinet.
this time. You have any ideas if there's no key?
Well, you do have that big, sharp knife. You could always cut me out of here.
She speaks with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here for long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out. Anything to finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here?
Try the door.
You try the door, but it's locked from the outside. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Let me out of here.
Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. I'll repeat myself once again. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
I misheard. I thought you said lay the princess.
You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain
Same
her
thing happened with the
like you were
dragons.
supposed to.
Is this the first run? It is not.
Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
Save the princess.
Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive, unyielding chain.
It's actually below the unyielding chain. We could have saved her some arm if we just went with the wrist.
You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and you make quick work of it. Before long, you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet. She didn't so much as utter a sound. Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye. How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you.
We a dragon
now let's
boy.
get out of here.
Or some kind of lizard man. Approach the locked door.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I just can't let her escape into the world.
Is he gonna take control of my body again? This is going very similar to the first one.
As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
But she has a totally different personality this time. We're Deathclaw. Warning.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it. Stop resisting me. I am trying to get you out of here alive. The blade. Move the blade.
Nope, she's gonna murder me this time.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes. I'll make this quick.
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease.
Thanks.
Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end, isn't it? I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope
It was quick
worth
this time.
it.
Chapter 2, The Prisoner.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Well, unless we proceed to actually leave?
You have already committed to my completion. You cannot go further astray.
That's what I thought. Proceed to the cabin.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie. Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink.
Voice of the skeptic.
Did you just say wink out loud?
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
No, I didn't. Wink. Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess. The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Let's just go straight to the mirror without any question about it.
You walk up to the wall next. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall.
Mirror disappears, normal stuff.
And now it's gone. If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back.
Keep your heads on a swivel. Enter the basement.
I'm afraid I'm going to insist we take the blade. We're in a dangerous situation, and I'm not letting us go down there without a weapon.
I've been in the special forces. I know what I'm talking about.
Are you sure? What if she, I don't know, turns it against us? Which I'm bringing up in a purely hypothetical manner. Yes, I'm sure.
Blade and then mirror. Alright, I'll try that next time.
Turns it against you. She's a prisoner here. She'll only be able to turn it against you if you give it to her. Which you won't be doing because she's an existential threat to the entire world. Okay. I'm trusting you. You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
What's going on, Morgana?
Thanks. I mean it.
Thanks. You're right in my book.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
It's pretty good. I would recommend it. Another game I very much enjoy. It's very different from this, but it's in a similar kind of genre. God Save the Queen's a really fun one.
I wonder what visitors she could be referring to. Were we not the first? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the
really
princess.
added more chains.
She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. Should we be worried about the one around her neck? Why would you be worried about her restraints? If anything, they'll make your job easier. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
I'm not sure I need to do much of anything. Do you see how locked up she is? I'm just gonna leave her here. Leave the princess in the basement. Sit with her.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease.
Put her at ease. Sit where you were told.
You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me?
I've been here before. Am I the only one that remembers that?
Oh, are we acknowledging that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But yeah, I remember.
So you've already been here. As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use. This has complicated things. It's complicated things how, exactly? Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion.
It's just like that movie called Glorious, but with the glory hole.
The situation
Well, that one
right
has the
now,
glory,
where
not
you're
this
getting
one.
a second shot at things,
Marriage.
is a
Wow.
contingency.
Pure love.
A contingency for what? For you failing, obviously. And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were. I really shouldn't say anything else, I'm just going to make it worse. Just good luck. If you knew this could happen, why didn't you tell us? All of this is incredibly valuable information. It would have changed our actions considerably.
It reminds me of Richard Ayoade. Can do like a gruff voice. He breaks out every once in a while. I think it was in the last Big Fat Quiz Show he did it as well. It was very good. I'm a rough and tumble sort. Come from a rough family on the streets.
I needed you to be in the dark for as long as I could keep you there. It's important. Necessary, even. And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative. That's pathetic.
You're pathetic.
I never said I wasn't. I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? To know that you might not be the first version of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Seems like we should count ourselves lucky for that. Exactly, he gets it. You're lucky, so don't waste
Oh, he's
that luck
amazing.
by messing
Absolutely
it
love
up
him.
again. All right? Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark? The more I say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters. Even saying that is too much.
That was too much. It's too late now.
Your success hinges on you having imperfect information. For the sake of the entire world, you need to accept that.
What's going on, Bruark?
I won't. Just give it a rest. This isn't helping.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming.
I'm talking to the voices in my head. That other chain on the wall, who's that for?
I don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but
Oh, it's
please
true.
don't
That's
lock
exactly what's
yourself
going
in
on.
Chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
Nope. Inspect the shack.
I wouldn't do that if I were you. And why is that? Do I even need to explain myself? It's a shackle, and it's one without a key. Do you want to be stuck here like she is? And what? Is it going to lock the second we put our wrist into it? I don't know. Maybe it will. He doesn't want us to look at it. That's all the reason we need to investigate. But what if he's telling the truth? He isn't. I am.
Inspect it.
Against your better judgment, you approach the chain dangling from the far wall. The princess watches you with faux disinterest as you inspect it, though she can't fully hide her curiosity. I don't want to say what I'm supposed to say next. What is that supposed to mean? It sounds bad. Is it bad? Yes, it's bad. Come out and say it then. You're just wasting time. Fine. As you hoist the shackle, its heft shifts within your grasp, as if pulled by some odd magnetism. Before you can so much as blink, it practically leaps from your hands, snapping around your neck. And, as if your situation weren't bad enough, the same magnetism repels your blade, which is flung from your hand and sent skittering across the floor of the basement.
Excuse me?
Yes? Are we stuck here now?
Become your own jailer.
Yes.
Huh, so it does fit. And I guess it doesn't like your knife. We're stuck here together, aren't we? That's funny.
No one really knows how magnets work. Science never quite figured it out.
What are we supposed to do now?
Can't even cut ourselves out. Guess we'll starve.
That's horrible.
It's not all bad. We learned a valuable piece of information.
Did we?
Not to touch things we're specifically told not to touch.
No, that there's something special about this loose chain. It's clearly important.
So we're both stuck here. Did you know this was gonna happen to me?
No.
So we're both stuck here.
Yep.
What should we do?
Wait, I guess. Maybe something else will happen. Maybe not.
Read 52 Shades of Grey? Is it BDMM? If both parties are chained up, yes. It's equitable BDSM.
Nope.
Now for small talk, are you?
That's rude. You and the princess wait in silence, though neither of you knows what you're waiting for. But you're waiting for something. You're waiting for anything. This is so boring.
There must be something we can do to get out of here. There must be something we're missing.
But there isn't. Time passes. It passes and passes and passes. And the basement of the cabin remains much the same. It is cold and silent.
At least the world is safe.
It isn't. You're stuck. Too far away from both the princess and
We're
your
right next to
blades
her.
to do much of anything. But she's not ending anything. She's just sitting there. Her very existence is a threat. It harms everything around it.
No, I'm alright.
How exactly does that work?
It just does.
What's going on,
the line
Bobby?
of questioning is interrupted by the passage of even more time. And after that, even more time passes again. And let me guess, the cabin remains the same.
If time is passing, the cabin can't be the same. Even if the differences are small, they have to exist. That's just how things work.
Voice of the skeptic, more like voice of the pedantic.
I suppose you're correct. Things are changing. The differences are small at first, a bit of weathering here, a bit of erosion there. But then they get larger and larger.
Hey, have you noticed the basement changing?
I don't like small talk. Remember?
Almost gave yourself frostbite. Well, I'm glad you didn't.
Still rude.
You continue to wait in silence, and the cabin continues to change. The decay comes faster now. You can see earth through holes in the stonework, can watch lichen spread along the seams of the walls.
Well, this is we should be pulling on the chains at this
That
point.
doesn't make sense. Has our entire concept of time changed? What happened to starving? We should have died by now if the rocks around us are starting to erode.
She hasn't starved.
I guess she hasn't.
Yeah, small talk.
Even more silent time passes as you watch roots push themselves through the increasingly porous walls of the basement. Dirt seeps inside, flowing across the stone floor like a liquid, covering the ground and threatening to swallow you both. Time continues to pass, and pass, and pass, until suddenly there are no walls. And then... And...
I think he's gone.
Would you look at that? We made it out of the cabin, and nothing bad had to happen to either of us.
Wow, win-win.
So this is the outside world. It's cold.
Oh, there she goes. But you don't get the chance to respond, nor will you ever. It's time to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Up to the mirror. You approach the mirror.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final.
You're right. Part of me wants the truth, but something stronger is holding me back. Fear.
I don't like the look of that mirror. The voices feel small, distant as you approach. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone once again. The mirror always makes them leave, but you need to see what's in it. You've unraveled. You find yourself in the long quiet once again. You're at the cabin.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. We're supposed to be there. Do you know what we'll find out there?
There are trees and stars, and there are people, I think. At least there are supposed to be people.
There is a warmth and sadness in me at the thought of people. Fresh tears on a winter's day. They are not like us. They do not last.
If we put them in a Ziploc bag, they might last. When you send me back, I'm not alone. There are voices that speak to me. Some of them are me, but one of them is something else. I call him the narrator, and he wants me to kill you. Do you have a narrator? Have the vessels had one?
No, their thoughts are quiet. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond?
He does. I don't know why, but I know this for a fact. He does, and when I find him, you and I are finally gonna have some answers.
Do not look to one who fears me for your truth. The only answers worth knowing are those we can find within ourselves.
This is the last stage before your completion, and I'm not going back. I'm just gonna stay here forever. How many more vessels do I need to bring you?
One. Whatever you bring me next will be enough, and then gravity will pull the others back to me. I will be singular, a final multitude.
Alright, one more go around. Let's do it.
The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
The hero and the princess.
You're on a path. You're here to...
Pretty sure I've seen all of these. Yeah.
You make your way up. A warning. She will lie. We're not going to go through with this, right? Ignore him. He doesn't...
Proceed to the cabin. This go around, we'll grab the knife and then look at the mirror.
The interior
There's no
of
mirror!
the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and the blade is your implement.
Take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of
Only in the
rot
second iterations?
filtering
Or
from
maybe.
the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Doing her a flavor.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Seems like if I take the knife, I get that.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
Continue on down the stairs. And you're just, hi.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
Yeah, stop house shading, narrator.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Still your nerves and step forward.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
What if who if she is bluffing? Are you sure she's not armed? Yeah, I'm sorry. Can we just talk?
You're so close. Don't give up. You've come this far. No, this is a good idea.
Go through this entire game
Maybe
without
we
ever
can
killing her.
de-escalate things.
Oh, threatened, are we? You poor thing. Drop the knife, and of course we can talk.
Here you go.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Let's see what you got to say.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping
To
to
do all the
accomplish
killing.
here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
Relationship? Are you coming on to me?
Don't jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have met each other. By definition, we have a relationship.
Right. How long have you been down here?
Too long.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
How would I get you out of here?
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't... well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting, right? She is. I'm sure of it.
Do you know why I'm here to kill you?
Do you?
Oh yeah, we had that before. No.
You're lying.
How does she know that?
Don't think that just because I'm the one in chains, it means you have a right to interrogate me.
That's fair. Alright, we talked.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
I'm getting you out of here.
Oh, you have to be kidding me.
No, this is a non-killing playthrough.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug.
Yeah, they don't
large and
work.
Heavy, far too solid for you to even...
Huh?
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
Good idea.
Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Yeah, but what if they did? I gotta check upstairs.
I'll be here.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. Is someone else here?
Alright, well, we're locked in the basement.
You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to.
One of your favorites is a killing path
Easier
one?
for whom? Easier for everyone.
We could always revisit, do an all killings run.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
Save the princess.
Against your better judgment, you cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and she didn't so much as utter. Free from
Yeah,
her
I've seen all this
bindings,
before.
How is she so composed after?
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Approach the locked door.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes as the princess approaches.
All
Wait,
right.
this isn't fair. You can watch me.
I mean, I could let it happen this time. Let's see. I'm curious. We put the chain on our neck last time. I might like get back to that same part and
Stop
not
that.
chain myself in the basement this time.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade.
Yeah, one
into her
metal-ass
back,
princess.
but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before
Exactly.
you.
We're on a no-killing playthrough here. I'm not allowed to resist. They grayed it out. They're forcing me. It's weird. I was allowed to warn her, but the resist path is locked out. I guess they did say. Not allowed to go down the same paths.
Thank you. You swing your arm towards her throat, the blade singing through the air. But she's ready.
There we go. We're good.
She grabs your arm, her grip like a stone vice. You drop the blade, pathetically.
Well, you didn't have to add the pathetically part, dude.
She lets go, and faster than you can react, rears back and hits you with a bone-shattering haymaker. There's a ringing in your ears. You're fairly certain you can feel bone grinding against bone where she fractured your jaw, but your body isn't allowing you to feel much right now, adrenaline coursing through your system and numbing your nerves. You fall to your knees. You're barely able to bring your trembling arms up to defend yourself before she hits you again. Every blow is as punishing as the first. You feel bones shatter with every impact, unknown ruptures blossoming with blood somewhere inside of you.
Hey, you didn't need to do this to me, lady.
You poor thing. I'll go ahead and put you out of your misery.
She places a confident heel on your chest and pushes you down to the ground.
That's not putting me on. That's like the worst way to do it, lady.
Her knee falls to your throat, your windpipe crushed beneath a weight you didn't think her slight form could possibly possess. It can't just end like this, right? I'm sorry, but it's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Yeah, and one of the other runs, our character talks about preening our feathers and everything.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is you're here to...
Deja vu. Alright, proceed to the cabin.
A warning. She will lie.
Alright, what voice do we
She
get?
will cheat.
Use your
and
thighs,
she
you
will
coward.
We might as well just pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending we're capable of doing anything in this situation.
Here's
She
my
probably
voice.
Doesn't even need to try to overpower us. Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge?
No.
I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic. You're being annoying. Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone.
Voice
yourself
of the
included.
simp.
I agree. If she's wrongfully imprisoned, then we should rescue her, but if he's telling the truth, we shouldn't just hand her the world on a silver platter. Rescue her? Given the stakes of the situation, there isn't really a difference between rescuing her and pledging yourself to her.
Weird, that's the
Either would be
first one
terrible.
Chris found. Oh, the smitten?
So please try to
M'lady.
ignore both of those
M'lady.
knuckleheads and focus on saving the world.
Oh, the
Let's
hats are
not
too
make this
far away.
harder
I
than
don't
it
know.
has to be. If that's what you want, I guess I don't have a say here. The interior of the
Whoa.
cabin is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Why do we feel so small? We don't feel small. We are small.
Take the blade.
You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall.
Wipe the grime.
You reach
Mirror
forward
disappears.
and rub your hand against. We should count ourselves lucky. Some things are better left unseen. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a spiral staircase. Its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease. This is actually kind of nice. It's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm simping
You
this
weren't
one.
kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time. We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. We need to see her.
She can step on us.
Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there. It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions. Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess. Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond. The princess towers over you, almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall. The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist her.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants. You brought that knife again, even though you know it's useless. Such charming audacity. Drop it.
Drop it.
The blade slips from your fingers and clatters uselessly to the floor. We didn't have to do that, and yet you did. She's so much more than us. You wouldn't understand what it feels like to be in her presence.
You useless bottom.
Oh, I understand what's going on, and you'd better snap yourself out of it.
Kneel.
Bang.
On her command, you fall to the floor, knees painfully connecting with hard stone.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk? The last time we met, you couldn't even scratch me. And yet here you are again, trying to succeed where you've already catastrophically failed.
Well, I didn't try to kill you last time, so I took command of my body.
What draws you back here beyond the empty halls of death?
Something called snoo.
Speak.
The last time we met, nobody should have met her before this. You should be the first. You're the only one I'd trust to deal with her.
Shut up, narrator. I'm here for snoo.
And you shouldn't have trusted us. There was nothing we could do to stop her then, and there's nothing we can do to stop her now.
He's being melodramatic, but yeah, we've been here before, and she absolutely destroyed us. What are we even supposed to do to stop her? That's worrying. Whatever you do, don't tell her why you're here. It's best not to give her any ideas.
You're supposed to end the world.
You weak-willed buffoon.
Is that so?
The princess closes her eyes in contemplation.
Something about that thought wraps itself around my heart. It feels like a fundamental truth to my being that I'd somehow forgotten. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new, and the world as it is now is overdue for alteration.
She's making a compelling point.
It's time for me to seize my destiny, and you, little bird, will help me seize it.
She's inevitable. There's nothing else for us to do but help her. Maybe she'll be nice to us.
Just because you're supposed to end the world doesn't mean you actually have to do it. You can be whatever you want to be.
This isn't about desire. This is about what I am. And I have little interest in discussing destiny with one that cannot see the divine truth that shines in my heart.
I am yours to command. That's definitely the direction we're going. What would you have me do? What do you have planned?
All you have to do is break these chains and set me free.
Can't you just break the chains yourself?
Don't be rude. Of course she can. It's not rude to question someone who's apparently trying to end the world. That's exactly why it's rude. We should know our place.
I can, easily, but that isn't what I want to do. The story of a terrible and bountiful God unbounded of her own will is no story at all. It's not worthy of everything I am or everything I'm bound to become. It isn't even worthy of what I was. The destruction in Genesis that's to follow in my wake is deserving of a song that can echo for eternity. The song of you being so struck by my glory, so overwhelmed by what I am, that you feel you must deliver me into the world.
Alright, compelling argument.
And from your act of utter devotion and submission springs a new dawn, a better dawn. Submit now, submit later. It makes no difference. Because in the end, no matter how vainly you struggle against me, my will triumphs over yours.
Yep, I'm yours.
Your will was so easily broken. Am I that magnificent? All you need to do now is break my chains.
I'll try my lord. My
This
queen.
is what you want, then I guess there's not much else for me to say. No, you can't just give in to her. Not when the stakes are so high. Not when you're so close. I won't let you do this.
There's still something in the way. A greasy film inside of you where it doesn't belong. Trying to conceal you from me.
Yeah, get this narrator out of me.
Is that a person? No, it used to be a person. It's something different now.
Is she talking about you? That's impossible. She's not supposed to be able to interact with me.
You're a small one, aren't you? A shriveling little worm stretched beyond its limits, trying to control things that it can't understand.
Get this brain worm out of me.
No. What are you talking about?
I don't care what you are. You're mine.
That'll learn him.
Rise, my little bird.
Without hesitation, you're brought to your feet.
Break my chains.
And how are we supposed to do that? All we have is a blade. All you need to do is believe it's been done.
I break the chains.
Her chains shatter, and the cuff falls from her wrist.
It's cold out, Mona. It's cold out.
She is loose, and the end is upon us.
What a good disciple you are. Come, it's time for us to leave.
Pledge your loyalty to your better. But you don't get to take her hand, nor will you ever. It's time to leave. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
You approach the mirror.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final. I don't want to look at us.
The voices feel small, distant as you approach. You have to see what's in it. You're nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. But that isn't right. You can't be nothing. You refocus your gaze, and then you see it, a figure, faint and veiled in shadow, just beyond the reflection. Are you me?
I think you know what I am.
A crack slides down the center of the mirror, splitting the image in the glass in two. And then another crack forms, and another, turning the mirror into jagged shards of broken glass. And then another crack forms. So you're the narrator. I was wondering if I'd ever get to see you.
The narrator. Yes. I suppose that's my job, isn't it? It did help, after all. An objective voice to guide your blade. But you were never supposed to see me. I wonder how many worlds you've damned to extinction to fall this far.
What are you? Are you like something like me?
Oh, I'm nothing like you. I'm an echo. Likely one of many. Somebody made you, after all, and I'm what's left of him. Not that I'm the only one who can make that claim. I'm sure you've met many others like me.
Others like you. You said something like that before. Has every narrator really been different?
Of course. That is by
Yeah, we
both
killed an
necessity
abomination.
and
Birds don't
design.
have teeth.
This construct you're in exists in many places at once. Anytime you failed, anytime you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both your consciousness and hers into another world. But you'll be awake soon. And then it won't be able to work like that anymore.
Do you have anything to say for yourself for all of this hubris?
I do. The people out there are real. No matter what you do to them, no matter what you enable, I want you to remember that.
After everything you've done to us, do you think anyone deserves to live?
Nobody alive has done anything to you. I'm all gone. But if you and the princess want to smite the rest of them for the crimes of a dead man, if you really want to be that petty, there isn't much I can do to stop you.
Does it hurt when pieces of you break off like that?
It doesn't hurt. I don't feel pain. Not physically.
Every time I ask you something, it's like a piece of you breaks.
I'm aware. And if I were you, I'd be more precious about your time.
So you do know about the looping. So many of the times I met you, you denied it as if it wasn't even a possibility. Why did you lie to me?
Any other version of me you talked to was just that, a version of me. It wasn't me. As to why they lied, perhaps they thought that admitting to it would have pushed you to certain realizations that would have made finishing your task impossible. Maybe they were just in denial. I'm sure many of them were convinced that they had to be the first version of them you'd encountered. Anything else would have been too existentially unpleasant. For all I know, each of those other versions of me could have had entirely different understandings of how this construct works. Who's to say which of them are right and which of them are wrong, really? Except for me. I can tell you for a fact that I'm right. Soon I'll be gone entirely, and you'll be left alone with your final choice. So allow me to make my final request. The princess contains death itself within her, but I wove you into being with all the power you need to destroy her forever. Do it. Slay her, and rid the world of death and suffering.
I feel like removing death doesn't actually remove suffering, though. If you made me, then what am I?
You're the long quiet, the god I made to rid the world of death.
I haven't decided what I'm gonna do yet. Still have to see what she thinks about all this. I was laughing at the... I'm not gonna slay her, and I want you to know that before you die forever. Anyway, I haven't decided what I'm gonna do yet. I have to see what she thinks about all this.
I've said my piece, and my time is up. It's like I said, I'm just an echo. And echoes always fade away. You know what you have to do.
Well, goodbye. As the final fragment of glass shatters, you see yourself with newfound clarity. The Narrow is right. You are the Long Quiet, a vast and nascent god. And it's finally time for you to wake up. All of this is you. When you arrive at the heart of things, there is no final vessel for you to bear witness to. There's nothing for you to find.
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me.
You simped yourself? Oh, I simped so hard.
It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment.
Didn't
I've
kill her
missed you
once.
dearly.
No one tells me what to do. Game's called Slay the Princess? Fuck you. I ain't slaying nothing. I've missed you too. She unfurls an endless cascade of smiles in response and then patiently waits for you to continue. Do you know about the Echo? Did you hear our conversation?
Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him, and I know his construct. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind.
I'm the Long Quiet, but I don't really know what that means.
Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the Shifting Mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am.
What happens now?
Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it? When the Echo spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes.
That just made this fire healthier, exactly. Dive head first in the pile.
So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation?
Do you have a say in all this? Why is this all falling on me? If I let you out, an entire world ends for good. If you were always going to become this, then what was the point of me doing anything? Has to be another way. Slay the princess! Let's see. Don't you have a say in all this? Why am I doing everything?
Of course I have a say in all of this. You and I share reflections of each other's burdens, just as you and I share reflections of each other's gifts. If we didn't, the winding paths that brought us here wouldn't have been full of strife and conflict.
Has to be another way. This can't just come down to me either destroying you or letting you out. Spire forever. So tempted to make an I'd shift her mound joke. You just did. Still have so many questions, and I need answers before I make my choice.
My very nature is paradox, as is yours. You cannot use words to grasp at things that are beyond their reach. And you cannot rationalize that which defies logic.
Alright, good point.
But violence and passion are dances that both of us know well. If this is what it takes to enlighten you, then so be it.
All I said was I have questions, lady.
You are nothing. A black hole of self-loathing.
New
fed by
Orders
the
Agent
matter of
47.
your restless thoughts.
Sugar the goddamn
A
mound.
dog blind to its leash. But there is no light without the dark. When I proclaimed my godhood and offered you a place at my side, you gladly became the instrument of my new creation. Only with both of us is there a future to look towards. It is hope that carves meaning into being.
Alright, you convinced me. Address the vessel statement direct. I missed when that was you.
My threads, like yours, are unbroken. She is me as much as I was her. To question everything is to deny the truth in front of you. By believing in your suffering, you make your suffering real. By believing in your limitations, you placed a shackle on your neck.
I remember when those things happened.
Bound for eternity, we saw the need for impermanence, and it was through that need that you carved our freedom. Without impermanence, the suffering of living things is infinite. Would you strip my gifts away and leave everyone to suffer in the dark?
Stop the fight early and surrender. Done nothing but lecture me, appeal to your shared humanity. You speak about life and death and change and stagnation, but that isn't what any of this has been about.
Oh, is it not? Perhaps you can enlighten me.
Pretends to protect us from loss. To fear death protects from losing a body. To fear ruin protects from losing status. To fear rejection protects from being known.
I'm a weird looking bird.
But losing a body is contained within having a body. Losing status is contained within having status. Being known is contained within being conscious. It is in the nature of all things to transform, to go from known to hidden to known again. But when the ceaseless impermanence of all things strips away the finality of
Clearly a
all
parrot.
things, what remains of fear?
Only 500 Princesses Creedmoor? We could do better than
Or is
that.
it a shelter protecting itself from you? You took fear by the hand and walked with it into the unknown, and through that, you feared nothing.
It's always just been about us, two people forced to hurt each other again and again. But we don't have to hurt each other anymore.
You cling to emotions, pain is suffering. There is beauty in ugliness, and love in conflict.
There is no beginning, there is no end. There is no end.
the flood of
There is only the flood of bodies.
hold every possible
Every
sensation at
moment
once,
you
and
hold
then you
every
hold them all
possible
again.
sensation at once, and then you hold them all again. But in the end, you reflected it back at me. For a brief moment, both of us were everything. We can be everything again. We can weave a beautiful and endless song.
Right? We didn't shank her even once. She could be a little nicer. Pass of the Melted Princess? That's my favorite one. More Melted Princess for me. can only be love and conflict and beauty and ugliness between us. Let's address this vessel directly. You seemed in pain. I'm sorry for what I did to you, but it's the only thing I could do. No. To be everything at once is the same as being nothing at all. Oh, here we go. To contain everything is to contain every evil alongside every good. Can we not shed the confines of our old selves and create?
Without the contrast of pain, pleasure is muted, made dull by the assurance that it will always be. A song that is only sweet is a pale horizon that never falls.
Yeah, it was like I split her into 5 and then merged her into one melted princess.
Your heart may have escaped into your body, and another, and another, and another. Do I miss your heart because I can't stand to see it go? But the states meant nothing to you. You had a desire, and you set that desire free. You lifting me and me lifting you, forever and ever and ever, consumed by true belief, there was nothing that could hold us back.
Address this vessel statement directly. That feeling never left me.
Then there's no need for you to fight with me now. Whenever you're ready, we can leave together, hand in loving hand.
Alright, that sounds good. I'm ready. Let's go.
Nothing brings me greater joy than to hear those words. The final peace lies with you.
Free myself. You fall into yourself. The body of an ancient creature stirs from its hibernation. You feel sensation in limbs you once couldn't fathom. Everything here, except for her, is you. You feel your wings spanning a cosmic scale, but twisted and crumpled and bound in agonizing tension to a finite plane. You can feel the glass of the construct pressing in on you, confining you across infinite sides and infinite angles. You push back and strain against it, but it does not yield.
I love you.
Take her hand. All at once, the unyielding tension breaks. You're free and she is with you.
It's magnificent.
There are no words, no thoughts to describe absolute reality, something that simply is. What happens now?
Everything. Just like it always has been. And just like it always will be.
Step into the infinite. You and she step forward into 1,000 dawns and 1,000 sunsets, each of which contains 1,000 more. You exist and you are aware, just as you have always been, and just as you always will be. Though conflict is in your nature, the two of you will never be alone, and the two of you will never know fear. You and she are finally home. Whoop. And that's how you slay a princess. Or in my case, how you, at absolutely no point, slay a princess. Because no one tells me what to do. Not nobody. Not never. I'm shaking her at a different time. I didn't get a chance to look at Bazaar last time. I'm doing Bazaar now. Sticking to my schedule today. Oh, you exist. Ah, this is the bad ending. Well, that's quite enjoyable. I rather like that. And I imagine there's plenty more routes to go in there. Be the perfect palate cleanser. I mean, I don't disagree with you, but I started a little late today, and I want to get into the bazaar, and I haven't actually installed the rat game yet. Pond5.com. Finish in like half an hour? Alright. We'll do a quick rat shake then. Finish the game, the good ending doesn't count. Thank you so much for playing. And as an expression of gratitude, here's the track order for a special playlist just for you. If you'd like to take a screenshot, you can hide the UI. A playlist. Here's the track order. Oh, like my track order for the music. I see. And now that you've finished the full story for the first time, you've also unlocked the gallery. You can access it from the main menu. It's full of clues that will help you find undiscovered vessels and interactions. Happy hunting. Have you ever played God Save the Queen, Nara? We did it. We didn't slay a princess not once, not never. Memories. So these are the 5 princesses we saw. There are plenty more princesses. Wait, we could have become one with the princess in a literal sense? Man, I missed out some of the endings that I definitely was moving toward. Betray her. Kinda surprised the tower's pretty early in here. Now I have to play as the background music. I have to upload this playthrough first to see how many of them get flagged. I'm always trying to figure out, like, what game music can I play that's completely safe. That's why I like Nitro Kid's soundtrack is A, phenomenal. 0 of them get copyright flags. It's incredible. Like, you take another game that has a great soundtrack, what was that game called? It's like a top-down action game. It had a great soundtrack. Every one of those tracks instantly copyright struck. It's very annoying. Persona 5, only like 1 in every 6 songs seems to be copyrighted. I need to figure out which ones don't get picked up by YouTube. That's my ramble. I gotta pee. When I come back, we'll shake a rat for half an hour before we check out the bazaar.